Hello, dog lover. Hope you're doing well. Long time no see. I know it's been a while. I have posted a video on my YouTube channel, and here we go. We're doing another live session. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling well. Hope life is treating you well and fair. Hopefully, your dog is healthy and happy and well behaved. And if it's not, you're in the right place. I'm here to help you with your dog related behavioral issues that you're having. So hopefully you're doing well and everything is good. You can hear me and see me. Uh, and yes, it's been a while that I have been away from YouTube and I haven't been posting videos on YouTube. And now we are here. So let me just quickly check a few things. Okay, sounds like we are live and we're doing okay. Okay. So the reason maybe you've been asking, what's going on with Saro? Where is he? What's happening? And all that. Uh, well, let me tell you that everything is good. Everything is okay. Uh, I'm good. I'm fine. It's just that I needed to take a little break from the YouTube channel and do some other stuff, focus on other stuff. Um, I have been working on creating a new business model, business format, new program to help dog owners. So I have been busy with that. I want to also make sure that you know about this. That if you have certain behavioral issues with your dog, you need help, I'm offering you a free Zoom virtual session, training session kind of, where I will be asking you a lot of questions, and I'll be trying to give you a lot of tips and information related to that. And based on those questions that I'm going to be asking, also, it allows me to gather information and understand exactly what you need and create that program for you. So basically, I want to create a customized program for you so you can get the most of this program that I'm creating, get the most of the help from me, and um, it's a win-win situation. So you get what you need, and I get what I need, which is information. I want to know exactly what your frustration was, what your problems that you're having. So if this sounds like something that you'll be interested in, I have created a link. It's in the description, and also it will be in the chat area as well. Let me just copy that. There we go. I'm going to put it in the chat area as well. So if you want to work with me, uh, just go to the link that I just put in the chat area, which is sarodogtraining.com/interview. There, it's a calendar where you can set up the ideal day and time that works for you to come and chat with me and talk with me. And we talk about it and we figure out what your problems and issues are. And if I can help you there, then and there, that's great. If not, I'm going to learn exactly what your pains and frustrations are, and I'm going to create a program designed specifically for those needs that you have. I see that Maddie and Gory are on live now, and they're saying hi. Thank you for being here. Feel free also to ask your questions in the chat area. Um, the link in the chat area usually is not clickable, but if you want to click on the link, you just have to go to the description area. The link there is clickable. The chat area, you have to, if you want to get the link, you have to copy the link and then paste it on your um, uh, on your one of your tabs, and that will take you to the link. All right. So yeah, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask me your questions. But before we get started with the question Q&A today, I wanted to give you a crash course, a little bit of a kind of a training, a little bit of education, uh, because I feel that I need to share some information with you. I want to share some positive energy with you. So as you could see in the beginning, I started with this phrase, basically that if you want to become a, overall, if you want to become a responsible dog owner, if you want to be a responsible owner, you have to be able to pick up your dog's subtle communication cues, as well as if you want to help your dog, you need to also learn human communication signals through proper handling and socializing and training. I want to dive in a little bit in this phrase. This has a lot of things going on in this phrase. I want you to kind of figure it out, what this means and what I mean by this. So, everybody loves dogs, right? Which is great. It's good to have as many people, as many humans that we can have to love dogs. There are some people who don't like dogs, who don't love dogs. They're cat people. We're not talking about them. We're talking about dog people, dog lovers. So if you are one of those who's a dog lover, and you want to create a perfect life for yourself and your dog, you have to be able to learn about your dog, learn about communication signals, learn about how to handle your dog, how to socialize your dog, and also how to train your dog, control your dog, and all that, right? So, being a dog owner and dog lover is one part of it, but being an educated dog lover is different. An educated dog lover loves the dog and does everything properly, does everything accordingly, and does everything the way it should be. Whereas a dog lover just loves the dog and makes a lot of mistakes and doesn't know how to deal with its dog, and it becomes problem child. The dog becomes problem, and it never ends and gets worse and worse, right? The relationship is not um, properly set, properly settled. So you have to be able to learn about your dog. I'm not saying you have to become a dog trainer. I'm not saying that you have to be a dog psychologist. I'm not saying that you have to be a dog behaviorist or anything like that. What I mean by that is at least you have to learn the basics of living with a dog. Basics of a dog. Everybody has to know. Everybody has to learn. You have to be able to pick up those subtle cues that they're they're communicating with you 24/7. You have to be able to pick up those cues. But if you are not educated, you're not going to be able to pick up those cues from your dog, right? And you have to learn also how to communicate back to your dog, right? Communication is a two-way system, a two-way avenue. You have to be able to communicate to your dog should be able to communicate to you, and you should be able to translate that in your mind and understand exactly what it says and return the communication back to your dog. And all that happens very quickly. It happens between the ages of 8 weeks, right, and year and a half, 2 years. That's the window of opportunity that you have to train and teach and uh, build this communication system with your dog. Now, if the dog, for example, is a year and a half and older, it doesn't mean that you can't train it. It's just going to be harder to train that dog. It's going to take a little bit longer. It's going to take a lot more work to train that dog, because you have to start from the beginning. You have to start from the basics, right? So understanding these little things, you have a window of opportunity to train your dog and educate and teach your dog um, basic stuff. It starts from a young age and starts with you taking action and learning about your dog. So one of the other tips that I always share with dog owners is understanding that you have to also provide your dog's daily 5 essential needs. These are needs that a dog requires to have on a daily basis. I'm going to go through these needs, I'm sure, throughout this session today, um, which I'm most of if I get questions today and I'm answering them, you will see me that I'm going to refer to these 5 essential needs. So let me start with one of the questions, and then I'll refer to this and I'll explain what these 5 essential needs are. So let's start with question 1, which is from Paper Tube. I have one question. I have 3 dogs, 2 bugs and 1 corgi, two year old, all 3 of them. Yes. So Paper Tube, go ahead and ask your question. What is the question that you have? Let me know your question. So we know what type of dogs you have. Um, Let me know what the questions are. What the question is. Let's go to the next question. Ashok is saying, what are your thoughts on prong collar? I have a Boston Terrier, 15 months old. I have tried all leashes and now working with prongs. This is a good question. I'm very passionate about answering questions like this. And I'm going to dive in a little bit deep in this topic because I believe we need to address this properly. So, when you have in your case, you have a Boston Terrier who's 15 months old, and you're having some sort of problem, probably is pulling on the leash, is not listening to you, and it's chaos when you take this Boston Terrier for a walk. So you've done everything, you've used all kinds of leashes, and they're not working, and now you're starting to use prong collars. Prong collars, for those who don't know what prong collars are, let me just bring out an image uh, of you for you, so you'll have an idea of what prong collars are. So this is a Google search that I did. So this is a prong collar. So as you can see, it has prongs that they stick to your dog's skin and neck area especially, and they as you can see, let's see if you can see it. That didn't bring bigger. Basically what it does, it's a tool that apparently it helps with pulling on the leash and doing controlling the dog. So that's what prong collar is. For those who don't know what prong collar is, that's what prong collar is. Okay. So the question is, what are my thoughts on prong collars? Well, my thoughts are, first of all, if you have a dog who's not, you're not able to control it and it's misbehaving, it's not your dog's fault that you have this problem. It's your fault. It's always human fault. We can't blame the dog. The dogs, animals, they have no clue of what is going on. And the reason we are using tools or gadgets like this, uh, is because we create the problem and then we start solving the problem with tools and gadgets, right? Why am I saying that you created the problem? So remember, I was saying in the beginning that you have between 8 weeks and a year and a half years of your dog window of opportunity to teach and train your dog and build the communication system with your dog. And if you don't, you lose that opportunity. You miss that opportunity. You miss that window of opportunity. So probably you lost it. You didn't do enough, you didn't do it properly, or you didn't do at all training. So I don't know your training background. She's been rehomed, so you're saying you adopted her. So the humans have done that. So now it's your turn. You've got a dog who we just adopted, and you want to fix this problem, right? So, but the humans are the fault. I just want you to understand part one of the solution, that humans are the fault, because the poor dog, this Boston Terrier, for some reason has been rehomed here and there. The humans haven't been responsible enough to keep that dog home, and they have rehomed it for some reason, whatever reason. So number one is that human has to take responsibility. Number two, when you start depending on tools to fix a problem, you are ignoring few other things. You're ignoring your dog's mental state. You're ignoring your dog physical state. You're ignoring your dog's emotional state. Whenever you use tools to fix a problem, that tool probably it causes something, some form of pain, some form of discomfort in order to work. It has to. It has to be causing some form of discomfort or pain in order for the dog to stop whatever behavior that is doing. In this case, probably it's because it's pulling on the leash, right? And I just want you to see this too. This is a very popular picture that is going around the internet. I just want you to see this too. So this is a tool, same tool, prong collar, has been used wrongfully and has caused damage. So it has to physically and emotionally and mentally cause some form of discomfort and damage to the dog in order for it to have an effect. Let's be honest about that, okay? Let's be straightforward that it causes pain and discomfort, right? That is the reason why it stops the dog from pulling on the leash, right? So in this case, let's focus on pulling on the leash. So if the dog is pulling on the leash and you're using this tool, and this tool is causing pain and discomfort in your dog, and your dog probably says, you know what, because it causes pain, I'm going to stop this behavior. I'm not going to pull on the leash. And you say, boom, problem solved. The dog learned and understood exactly what I want, right? But the opposite happens. Why is it, understand this, why is it that your dog pulls on the leash? First of all, the humans have not taken the chance and opportunity and the time to train this dog not to pull on the leash. That's number one. Number two is because the dog pulls on the leash because the whatever it's experiencing at that moment is triggering a sensation in the dog, whether it's positive or negative. Probably the dog's, or he sees a cat or a dog or a human or whatever it is that triggers the dog to pull on the leash and get excited. It's either excitement or sadness or an anger or frustration that the dog is experiencing, right? Some sort of emotion the dog is experiencing when it sees another dog. So that emotion that triggers the dog is causing the dog to feel some form of feeling, right? And that feeling is overriding the proper way of behaving. So here's what I mean by that. If your dog, your Boston Terrier, is more excited to see the whatever it triggers it to pull on the leash, and ignore your cues, that means you haven't taken or spent enough time to teach your Boston Terrier cues that overrides that trigger. So you didn't take any steps to teach your dog that when that happens, this is what I want you to do. And then all of a sudden you're saying, here, I'll put you in front of that situation and I want you to listen to me. And if you don't listen to me, which you're not listening, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to start using a tool that is going to cause you pain. So first of all, you don't have any communication between you and your dog since it's been adopted. You haven't built any communication with your dog yet. And right away, you're starting to rely on tools to build the communication system between you and your dog. But unfortunately, you're telling your dog that if you experience such and this and that, I'm going to cause you pain. Because your dog feels that it comes from you. So you're creating a negative relationship between you and your dog. It's a negative relationship. You mean well, you want to help your dog, you want your dog to stop that behavior, but the tool is teaching the wrong thing. It causes physical damage, it causes mental damage, it causes emotional damage, it causes your relationship to be worsened, and therefore you're not going to get great results. Yes, the problem may stop at that moment that you're using the tool, but the brain doesn't learn doesn't learn the proper way of solving the problem. So yeah, you are also psychologically causing damage to your dog. Your dog learns this is what I'm supposed not to do at this moment because I have this thing on. But as soon as you remove that tool, the brain goes back to exactly where it was. So that means the brain hasn't learned what the solution is actually. We call this band-aid solution, right? You're not addressing the core issue. You're addressing the problem that is visible to you and to your dog. And when you do that, when you start using tools and gadgets to solve a problem that is deep core comes from the core of the dog, you cannot solve it with surface solutions. You cannot solve it with tools. You cannot solve it with gadgets. You cannot solve it with pain. So what would be my honest solution for this? For a problem that it has become to the point that you're just treating the symptom, right? You're not treating the cause. You're treating the symptom. It's very important to understand that. So what would be the solution? The solution from me would be that you take the time to invest to train this dog, to build a communication between you and this dog. So remember I was telling you that, let me bring this up again. Remember I was telling you that you need to be, as a responsible dog owner, in this case, you're a responsible adoptee. As a responsible adoptee, you have to be able to pick up subtle communication cues from your dog and start helping your dog human communication signals through proper handling in this case, and socialization and training. Okay, so you have to be able to learn how to properly handle this situation. So how do you properly handle this situation? You start focusing on providing your dog's daily five essential needs, which are exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection. And you have to provide them in this order on daily basis. Why is it on daily basis? Because every day your dog feels like it's a brand new day and it needs brand new experiences in life, right? Um, Not to the point that it stresses your dog, but to the point that excites your dog to live a healthy and happy, well-behaved dog life, right? So if you do provide proper exercise, proper training, I'm going to explain a little bit about training in a moment, proper socialization, proper care, and then affection, you will have a successful formula to help your dog to learn faster and also to um, understand exactly what you're trying to teach and communicate and learn, right? So the way I would do is I will exercise my dog, a dog who have your Boston Terrier, for example, if it's reactive to other dogs and it sees other dogs, whether it gets excited or whether it gets anxious to see other dogs or people or whatever it is that it causes that, I'm going to avoid those environments. I'm not going to place my dog in those environments when I'm exercising. If I have to invest time to get in the car and drive somewhere uh, to walk my dog and exercise my Boston Terrier in that environment, I would do that for a while so I can provide proper exercise for my dog. Now, the training is not to put the prong collar on my dog and go in the park and start training my dog. That's not training. That's called abusing the dog. That's called harassing the dog. That's called putting pressure on the dog. That's called flooding, right? In technical terms, that's called flooding. When a dog is getting excited to see other, whatever it is, and uh, it gets triggered by whatever it is, that's not the time or the place to train a dog. The training has to be done somewhere else to prepare the dog and build a communication system with the dog first, and then expect the dog to listen to you. Here's what I mean. If if I go to, let's say, Spain all of a sudden and start speaking in English to everybody, nobody's going to understand me. Few people may speak English and understand me, but I cannot communicate to them in English, in Spanish, right? That's not the time for me to go and start learning Spanish. I should have learned Spanish before I traveled to Spain. Do you know what I mean? You don't travel to Spain or Italy and start learning the language there. You learn beforehand, and then you travel and expect to use your whatever you have learned and use it. Same thing. You don't take the dog to the park, put the prong collar, and expect the dog to behave and listen to you and train and start training the dog what it's supposed to learn. That's not the place and the time. You have to do it beforehand. You have to train the dog beforehand. You have to build a communication system between you and your dog beforehand. So your dog says, I'm familiar with what you're saying. And then you put him in that environment and then expect your dog to listen to you. Because if you don't have any communication system between you and your dog, what do you want your dog to listen? What do you want your dog to pay attention to? How do you want your dog to respond to you? If it doesn't even know what you mean, what do you say? Am I making sense? So you provide a proper form of exercise, proper form of training, and use those two to socialize your dog. So your dog sees another dogs, for example, or other people, gets excited, gets overwhelmed, or gets anxious to see them. That means is lacking social skills. So you provide exercise and training and then improve the social skills. Once you do that, then you go through the next two items, which are care and then affection. Affection is the last thing a dog needs. Affection is something that you use as a reward. So I hope that makes sense. I hope you understood now where I come from when I say don't use these tools. These two these tools are not designed to help the dog. They are designed to help you, but they're not helping the dog. Okay? They are band-aid solutions. If you need information about leash walking, yes, I have a leash walking playlist. Let me get it for you. Just give me a moment. So I'm gonna put it in the chat area. Leash walking video series. Okay. Uh, I'm gonna call it leash walking video series. So all you have to do is just copy that link and paste it in your browser. You are very welcome, Ashok. I hope I was able to help you with this situation that you have. I feel bad for you that you're desperate to use a tool like that, and I feel bad for your Boston Terrier that has to go through that pain and suffering because the humans haven't been responsible to take care of this dog. And I'm so glad that you actually um, adopted this dog and you have come to this environment to learn how to help your dog. And that means a lot to me. That's why I want to help you, and I want to help your Boston Terrier as well. And I hope I did. So yeah, go ahead and watch those videos as well. And yeah, hopefully you'll get good results. Let's go to the next question, which is from Guri. I'm sure it's Guri. My 1-year-old rescue puppy is doing great in most aspects. She's brilliant. She's tiny and loves to jump a lot. She jumps at our feet, at things out of curiosity. Any suggestion to correct this behavior? Well, if a dog is jumping, it's out of excitement, out of, I usually call it learned behavior. What I mean by learned behavior is when you allow a dog to practice a behavior, whether it's unwanted or not, if it's unwanted or unwanted, that behavior becomes a learned behavior. So learned behavior is something that, many people, I think, need a little bit more information to understand what that means is. So when you teach, for example, when you teach a dog to sit, once you teach the dog to sit, or once you teach the dog to sit and stay, for example, you can't unteach it anymore. You can't undo that anymore. You can't say don't sit anymore. The dog is going to sit. That behavior has been learned, it's been practiced, it's been learned. Now it's been tattooed in his brain, and it has become a behavior that is learned behavior. You can't undo that anymore, right? So when a dog starts doing a behavior such as jumping, that is a learned behavior. So you're saying your puppy was also your dog was also a rescue dog. So probably the previous owner allowed it to jump, and it has become a learned behavior. Now, can you undo a learned behavior? Probably not. But what you can do is you can start managing and controlling it. So you can say to the dog, okay, you can jump this situation, but in this situation, you can't jump. you can teach that dog, start managing and controlling it. So how do you control or manage a dog, uh, or control a behavior and teach the dog yes and no? So what you do is, let me see if I can um, show you this. Okay. So dogs learn by association. Okay, just like humans, they learn by association. What does that mean? They learn that this is good, this is bad. Okay, so you have to teach your dog that what this behavior is good, this behavior is bad. You have to teach it via a communication system, right? You have to teach the dog that this is good, this is bad. Okay, so dogs learn by association, and association means if the dog experiences negative feelings or positive feelings. So, for example, if your dog jumps on while you're, let's say, you're by your counter and your dog jumps by the counter to get the food, that's unwanted. But let's say you teach the dog to jump on a cue, say, Rover, jump, and Rover jumps, that's a wanted behavior, right? So when it's wanted, you have, when the dog jumps, you say, for example, you communicate this to the dog. So not with treats. You don't have to use treats to reward the dog. Just simply say, good boy, good girl, yes, right? Be positive, yes. When it jumps on command and you want it to jump, be positive, be happy, be rewarding, saying to your dog that that's what I want. But let's say if your dog is jumping on the counter and you don't want that, obviously you're not going to be excited. You're not going to be um, supportive of that behavior. So instead, you have to replace that supportive, happy feeling, happy reward with an unhappy reward. So what I mean by that is that you're going to tell your dog that, this is good, this is bad, right? Positive association, negative association. Okay. And you have to teach that to your dog. So the way you teach your dog is the good ones, you say, good boy, good girl. The bad ones, you say, no, bad dog, bad girl. Just verbal cues will be more than enough. The verbal cues, dogs will understand. The verbal cues, they very well understand, as long as you are consistent on teaching the unwanted from wanted behaviors. As long as you're consistent, whenever your dog is doing something wrong, you have to say to your dog, no, bad girl, no, right? And if your dog is doing something good, you have to say, yes, good girl, yes, good boy. You have to say those. As long as you communicate like that, your dog will understand it. But you have to be able to communicate that. You can't just always be positive to your dog, or negative to your dog. And your energy, yes, your energy has to be behind it. So if my dog is doing something good, right, I'm going to say, yes, good girl, good boy, yeah, right? That's an energy, positive energy, right? But if my dog is doing something that is unwanted, is negative, and I don't want it, I'm going to say, no, no, bad girl, no, no. You see the energy change? But one thing that is very common in dog owners is they get angry. I wasn't angry. I was firm and clear, right? No, bad girl. That's not angry. That's firm and clear. This is angry. Bad girl. Yes, no, no. That's an angry, right? And this is also when you're positive, when you're rewarding, this is not clear and firm either. Good girl, yeah, good girl. That's not firm and clear. That's confusing. So the angry and that they are misleading. They are causing confusion in the dog. So you have to be very precise. You have to say, nope, bad girl, bad dog, bad boy, firm, or yes, good girl, yes, good boy, yes. Do you see it? I hope you see it and I hope you feel it. The energy is what is behind it. So you have to be able to communicate that to your dog, right? You can't be angry, you can't be soft. If you are any of those, you're going to confuse your dog. You're going to be behaving. Those both are extreme, but somewhere in the middle is the neutral, normal tone that and normal energy and effective energy that your dog asks for and requires. So basically, throughout the day, right? I want you to practice this with your dog. Good girl, bad girl. Good boy, good bad dog, bad boy. Yes and no, right? Now, one more thing that I want to share with you regarding your question, right? I want you to understand that you can't just say, okay, everything is good, she's perfect, brilliant, but the only thing that is problem is jumping. I'm sure there are other behaviors that are unwanted. Probably you don't like them as well, but this jumping is the one that it really bothers you, right? This one, you stuck on this one, but there are other behaviors. I'm sure this is cross all dog owners. There are other behaviors that dog owners ignore, but they stick to one or two of them that really bothers them, and they say, you know what, this I'm going to have to deal with it. But you have to understand that you have to address all of those unwanted behaviors, whether they're little bothering you or they're not as much bothering you, or they're really bothering you a lot. You have to address them, and by addressing each one of those throughout the day, not only you are teaching your dog yes and no, you're teaching your dog to get rid of those unwanted behaviors as well. So I hope that makes sense. Okay. Let's go to the next question from. There was a follow up. I missed it. So we used small bites of treats every time our pup looked at us or made eye contact while leash walking. This has really helped us a lot. She learned to walk well, not 100, but she does great. Um, so that's a positive feedback, which is good, right? So yeah, I wouldn't use treats, right? Because then you and your dog depend on treats always. You're gonna now, if you run out of treats, or unfortunately you didn't have treats on your hand, your dog is gonna go uh, 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 be expecting you to have a treat, and if you don't give, it's gonna say, you know what, you broke the deal. I'm only gonna do it when you have treats. If you don't give me treats, I know well I don't behave well, right? And then both you and your dog start depending on it. All right. Next question, which I believe would be the last question of the day, is from Abanshu. My 1 year old beagle don't let me clip his nails. He still doesn't let me clip his nails. He still tries to bite, and uh, growls. Need advice. So when you have a beagle, or in case you have a beagle, when you have a dog who did I miss any? Okay, sorry. I think I missed somebody. Sorry, Ali P. Okay, I'll be back. I'll come back to your question, Ali P. Okay, I'm so sorry. I missed it. I didn't see it. I'll be back soon to your question. Um, so when you have a dog who is sensitive about nail clipping, so my first suggestion is take your dog, take your beagle to a groomer or a vet clinic, which usually they do nail clipping, and ask them to clip your dog's nails. The reason I suggest that too is because uh, it's better let the professional do it, so nothing is going to go wrong. They know how to do it. They've been doing it for years, and they are experts, and they're comfortable doing it, and they will do a proper job. First of all, they're not going to cause any trauma in your dog, and hopefully if you allow them to do it, uh, in 5 or 6 visits your beagle is going to have better experience with this situation, and is going to be a little bit more mellower and used to it. Then you can take over. You know, I'd rather let invest money and effort to let the professional to do something that I'm not comfortable with and the dog is not comfortable with, until the dog gets used to it, and then I'll take over. But at the moment, the the sensation of being clipped and the clipper and the environment that you create when it comes to nail clipping, because it becomes a little bit stressful for your beagle. So all that causes this experience to be negative. So that's one tip that I have. And I have a beagle myself whose drama is he makes a drama scene when we clip his nails. Um, so what we do, um, what we do, we clip one nail a day. you know, every day as he's lying down, we just go and grab his paw and just clip one nail. Boom, done. If you do that within few days, uh, all the nails are done, right? Just sneak up and as he's lying down or something, just grab the paw and clip one nail. That's another tip. Okay, you can either do that or you can take it to uh, a professional to do it. I hope that helps you. Sorry, Ali P, I skipped. Let's go back to your question. How to get my 7 months old husky puppy to stop resource guarding and share toys when playing with other dogs? So this is a good question. When a puppy is resource guarding and guarding his toys and is not sharing with his toy with other dogs, that means, um, how do I put it? Okay, let me give you the honest answer. Okay, the honest answer is your dog is so possessive with the ball that has forgotten that life exists. So that ball has become, sorry, I was going to grab this and I dropped something. Um, so this ball, for example, has become more important than anything else. That's because your puppy uh, is physically, emotionally, and mentally not being stimulated enough. What do you mean? What I mean by that is that you haven't been able to provide your dog's daily 5 essential needs. So when you see, this is a great example of what happens when you don't provide a dog's daily 5 essential needs. So if you don't provide enough exercise, which is physical stimulation, if you don't provide daily training, which is mental stimulation, if you don't provide socialization, which is social stimulation, if you don't provide proper care, which is physiological stimulation, and if you don't provide affection, which is emotional stimulation for your dog, your dog is going to have problems, physical, mental, and emotional issues. And when they have those issues, they start coming up with ways to help themselves to solve these issues. And one of them is being possessive. So they say, you know what, because my mom or dad or my parents, they do not provide me enough or proper exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection, then I'm going to have to solve this problem myself. I have to come up with a way to solve this problem. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ignore everything else, and I'm going to make this ball my focus. This is going to be my everything. So I'm going to, it's like, for example, alcoholics, they focus their energy on alcohol to solve their problems, right? So your dog has decided to focus its alcohol. So it's solving its problems with a toy, and it's making a big deal of this, right? And it's a great sign to you as your puppy's dog owner, that it's time to be serious and start providing your dog's daily five essential, and start being serious about investing time and energy into not only providing the daily five essential needs, but doing a lot of communicative exercises with your dog. Remember in the beginning I was telling you, um, the motto, the phrase that I started the the, the live show today. Communicative cues. You have to start communicating to your dog. So the dog learns human communication signals. So your dog starts having proper handling and socialization and training every day. So therefore, your dog is going to have a healthy and happy life by you providing exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection. Now, before you um, before you start thinking other stuff, I want you to understand that it's time to take action, and one of them is to start investing in training your puppy. Your puppy is 7 months old. I want to offer you my functional dog training. Okay, my I want you to, if you could, join my functional dog training and start training your dog. And in this functional dog training course, we address all of those issues, right? You get a Zoom call with me. You learn also a wait command. You're going to be a member of my private Facebook group, and you're going to learn everything that I'm just explaining now. So you're going to learn uh, how to train your dog using play and praise reward system. You're going to learn how to provide your dog's daily five essential needs, how to correct and reward your dog, how to improve the leash walking, and all the obedience commands as well. You're going to learn them to do it properly, and pre- provide communication system between you and your dog that is healthy, and also um, done properly. So you are going to get great results when you're training your dog. So when I say you need to provide your dog's daily five essential needs, right? That means you have to exercise your dog, train your dog, socialize your dog, and provide care and affection. Everything that I just explained there, you learn it in this course. So if you are serious about learning and investing time and effort in your dog and your dog training, especially that your dog is giving you clues that it's not feeling good emotionally, mentally, you gotta start being serious and invest in your dog and training and all that. So if you want to join this course, or anybody wants to join this course, um, I'm gonna put the link in the chat area. Also, there will be a link in the description area that you can go ahead and click on it and go and learn a little bit more about it. But I hope you got the point that I wanted to make there. I hope that makes sense. Let me see. Okay, let me. Next, we go to paper tube. Paper tube is my 2-year-old dog doesn't doesn't get along well. They growl. 2-year-old dogs don't get along well. They growl and fight most of the time. Help 3 dogs. Okay, so I see. Yes. So you have 3 dogs and 2 of them are not getting along together. Uh, Let me give you an honest answer. Maybe you bit more than you could chew, right? Many people, they're dog lovers. You are a dog lover too. So you pick dogs because you want to have more dogs. You want to have dogs, right? And when you pick a dog just because, this is what happens. So how do I put it? So you have 3 dogs. Maybe the dogs are not good match. Maybe the dogs look good for you. They have a good energy with you, but maybe these dogs, they don't have a good energy with themselves, with each other, among themselves. Maybe they're not a good match. Maybe they're not meant to be living together. You can't force 2 individuals, and each dog has a certain individuality, certain personality. You can't force 2 individuality that are not connecting together properly. They're not matched to be living together. You can't force it. And I don't know how long this has been going on, but overall, I want you to understand in general, when you have a dog and you want to bring more dogs to your home and you want to get more and more dogs, it's not what you want. You have to make sure that the dogs that you're bringing to your home, they're a good match, right? It's not a matter of if I'm I'm gonna get a big dog or small dog or female or male or uh, furry dog or this and that. Hopefully they will match. No, the personality of the dogs have to match, and that is something that you have to either be a good dog person, educated dog lover, so you know dog body language, dog behavior, so you can match your dogs with other dogs properly, or you have to foster those dogs and say, you know what, I'm going to foster them to see if they're going to get along and get to know them, get to know these dogs, and see if they're going to get along. If they don't, then I can return the dog. But you can't just force them to live together. Maybe they're fighting, growling and fighting all the time is because they're not a good match. And maybe you have to make that decision whether if it's the right match to have these dogs to live together forever. force them. Uh, if you're going to force them to live together, you have to be always be aware of it. You have to always be on your tippy toes. You have to always separate them. You can't be comfortable, or you have to say, you know what, I'm not going to force this dog who's not matched with this family to live. Maybe there's another family who's perfect for this dog, and maybe there's a perfect dog that is out there perfect for our family. So that's something that you have to kind of be honest with yourself and choose and decide. That is honest answer. If you are looking for a magic pill that will help you to get them to get along, there isn't such a thing. You can always manage it, have them separate, keep one there, but that's not healthy life. Not for you, not for the dogs. Uh, or you can hope that maybe in few years they're gonna get tired of this and just gonna ignore each other. That could happen too, but sometimes reality sucks. Sometimes things don't go the way you want. Sometimes you have to make the hard decisions, right? Life is not always positive. Life is not always goodies. Life has its negatives too, which brings me to this. When it comes to living with a dog, dog owners, they say, oh, you gotta be always positive to a dog, right? And you have to be kind to your dog. You have to be, you can't say no to your dog. Unfortunately, you have to be fair to your dog, to your animal, to the animals, and to living human as a human in the in our lives, in human society, and also in on this planet. We have to understand that life is not only positive. Life has both positive and negative, and we have to share both of those with our dogs. We can't just be positive to our dogs. We can't just be negative to our dogs. We have to be providing both of them. And if we provide those positive and negative to our dogs, life will be a little bit more balanced, fair, right? Okay, so let me see if there's any other question that I can answer, and that would be the last question that I can answer today. Tyler, why does my 10-month-old dog sometimes not want to walk? He stops and doesn't want to carry on. Um, Good question again. Another good question, Tyler. Um, you see, first of all, dogs explore the world with their senses: eyes, ears, nose, right? So if your puppy is stop somewhere and is experiencing life, let it be. When we talk about walking our dogs, it's not matter of going from A to B. This I keep repeating this also. It's not matter of going from A to B. It's matter of we start from A and we end up wherever we need to be, right? Uh, we go wherever life takes us. You know what I mean? You can't be saying, okay, Rover, you gotta walk with me because I want to go from here to here. That if you say that, that is your walk. That is not your dog's walk. If you want to go from A to B, you go from A to B on your own. But if you're going from for your dog, if you're walking your dog and you want to go for a walk and allow your dog to walk, you go from A to wherever it takes you, right? What I usually say is, let's say you're investing an hour of walk to your puppy, and you start from A, right? And it took you half an hour to get here, right? You take another half an hour to go back. That's an hour of walk for your dog. And during the walk, you allow your dog to do whatever it wants because it's their walk. If they want to sniff one spot for 10 minutes, that's their choice. If they want to sit down and just watch the world come and go, let them be. It's their walk. If they want to play with another dog, let them play with another dog. Whatever it is that they want to do, let them do. It's not your walk, it's their walk. So I want to give that freedom and choice to my dog to do whatever it wants during the walk. And if I do that, I create positive environment, positive associations, association with my dog, right? I create that environment that is happy, positive, good environment for my dog. So it's not about me, it's about what my dog enjoys. And if my dog has experiences like that all the time, that it gets what it wants and is having a good time, the walks are going to improve as well. Let me answer this quick follow-up answer question because it's a good one, and then we'll end the show. So Ali P is following up with, what if the dog is getting the five essential needs and still resource guarding? For example, dogs that grew up as street dogs and learn to protect their resource in order to survive. Mm. Dogs who have lived on the streets, they they are actually uh, domesticated dogs that they don't live with humans. That's the only difference between those dogs and your dog. Your dog is domesticated dog who's living with human. Those dogs are domesticated dogs who are not living with humans. This dog that is living with you now your has to learn um, human language, human has to learn human society living, has to learn the rules. And if the dog is resource gardening, that's because, again, you're saying how your dog is getting its five essential needs. I doubt it. Are you exercising your dog an hour a day? Are you training your dog at least half an hour a day? Are you allowing your dog to socialize with dogs, cats, humans, play, and say hi to every human and saying hi and is all good? Are you providing fresh food, feeding your dog fresh food? Are you avoiding vaccinations? Are you sharing affection as a reward? Are you giving affection to your dog only when it's doing the right thing? I bet you don't. It may sound like you're providing the daily five essential needs, but you are not. I doubt it that you do, right? If you did, your dog wouldn't have that issue, right? If a dog is not getting his, if a dog is behaving that way, it means it's not getting these daily five essential needs like this. So many people also will tell me, yes, I feel like I'm providing my dog all these, but they do a little bit of a lot of this, a lot of this, a little bit of this, not all of this, maybe a lot of this, or not at all this. And they do it in this order. They get up in the morning, they share a lot of affection and breakfast and all that. They take the dog for a walk, and that's it. That's the day, right? And they call it, I do this, I provide all this. Alipi, I don't want to be saying that you're a bad person or anything. I'm just saying you're not providing them properly. And it's common in dog owners not to provide them properly because we don't know it. It took me 15 years to figure this out, right? It took me 15 years to figure this formula out and then share it with people, right? Dog owners, they don't know it. I had to write a book about it. I wrote a book about this topic. It's called The Dog's Five Essential Needs, and it's on Amazon, right? You're saying he's gotten his vaccination. No, they're not good. They're not, only puppies get vaccination. If you're continuously vaccinating your dog is getting stressed, dog is getting internally uh, toxins, it's getting worse and worse. So your puppy is 7 months old, right? You said. I think, was it you who said your puppy is 7 months old? So yeah, so if your puppy has gotten vaccination, it's already good. Don't over vaccinate and all that. There are certain things that you have to be aware of and not to overdo or do things. But overall, he's 7 months. Yes. Yeah, 4 months. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not saying, is the vaccination that is causing. I'm saying, proper daily five essential needs has to be provided. If it's not, then things can go wrong, right? One of them, yes, is vaccination. Over vaccination is no good. You don't want to vaccinate your puppy every year. Don't make that mistake. Once they have their puppy vaccination, they're good for life. So yeah, that's what I mean. So if your puppy is behaving that way, it's a sign that it needs its daily five essential needs provided in this order and properly. That's all. All right. Okay. Hope you enjoyed this live session. Once again, I want to make sure that let me just set my, so if you have any dog related questions and you want to talk to me in deeper levels, I am providing a free Zoom session that you can come and talk to me and I can learn about your needs. It helps me to understand you in deeper level and provide better programs and better service and better business format. All you have to do is the link is in the chat area and also in the description area. Takes you to this page where you can book a day and a time that's ideal for you to come and talk to me about your dog owner needs in general. Just please make sure that you're serious about this. You have a serious issue, serious problems, not just fun, a little problem here and there. If it's a serious problem, just make sure that you book that session. If you want to learn a lot more about your dogs and you want to train your dog, I have two training courses that you can join. One is puppy training. It's up to 6 months old. If you have an older dog, older than 6 months old, you can join my functional dog training. Both of them are very valuable courses, are based on training dogs without the use of treats or food. So you're learning a unique method of dog training. So make sure to take advantage of my online courses. if you still want to work with me and you have problem and you want to solve a certain problem, a unique problem that you have, you can use my virtual dog training and coaching service. That again, all of this information is on my website, sarodogtraining.com. Okay, sarodogtraining.com. All you have to do is just go there. I hope I answered some of your questions that were bugging you today and you enjoyed this live session. Again, I will be back soon with my YouTube videos, but at the moment, I'm just working on other stuff. I decided to come and do this live session because I missed you guys. I missed interacting with you guys. I missed answering questions. I love these sessions. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you benefited from this session. I'll be back soon. I'll be back, and I hope you enjoy. You'll join me then, and you'll keep watching my videos. I have over 400 videos on my channel. If you have a question or you have a problem, you can definitely find a solution using my channel, watching my videos and finding those some solution to your um, problems. All right, and let me see. Everything should be okay. I think that's about it. I had fun. I hope you had fun. So until next time, have fun with your dog, and I'll see you next time. And until next time,